Hello there, I love my river fishing, but one of the main problems is I always tend to keep my maggots over. So I come up with this idea, the mag bag, a light cotton bag, put your maggots inside there, easy to use, can be machine washed as well, and if you don't put your maggots in there you can put your favourite angling publication inside there too. Anyway, I've got some fishing to do, so I'll see you later. If you're fishing with a couple of rods and you don't want to leave your rods lying on the bank or you're limited for space, then use the spike. Spike just simply sticks into the ground, allows you to put your rod straight into it. This is a 40mm one, which we use for coarse rods. We have a 50mm diameter one, which we use for the sea buoys. Now the sea rods tend to be used for sand spikes for when you're fishing up on the shore and you're chasing the tide in and out. Check our website for more details, thank you. Hello. When we prototype tested the Firefly and we was using it on various baits, what we found out was over a period of time when you're surface fishing is your hook bait tends to start merging towards your controller. Now what was happening was the weight of the line was sinking under the water, causing this bow, and the bait would then slowly crawl towards the controller. Now the fish are a bit spooky about the controllers. It wasn't very good. Also at the same time as the fish would feel the line when they're getting closer to the bait, it spooked them and they'd clear off. So what we came up with was this, which we call the carrier, and it sits as an intermediate between the controller and also your hook length. Now simply just sits on the water. Okay, you could have a main line, say of 18-20 pound, and you can reduce this then down to either a 5 pound if you're using it for bream, a 15, 17 pound line if you're using it for sort of largish carp. But also the other benefit as well is there's a connecting system inside there that allows you to change this hook length quite quickly. And we've also used it for subsurface fishing, whereby the fish are not on the surface but maybe a couple of foot under the water, and if you're using something like a sausage or a meat based product and you're threading your bait onto the line, it's quite advantageous to use something like this. So let's have a look at what's involved with the carrier. Okay, so these are the components of the carrier. Simply, it's a floating enclosure with a stop bead, a link system and a snap swivel. It makes no difference whether the snap swivel goes last or whether the hook link system goes last. It's your choice at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if you want to change your hook length size or the length of it, or change the type, whether you want to put a braid on or something like that, this enables you to do that. And simply all you do is you pull this into the tube, snap that, and away you go. Now obviously there's a little hole at the end there. It will fill with water. After maybe 5 casts you might just want to open that, empty the water, pop it back open, closed again, and away you go. Quite simple, quite effective. Right, I'd like to show you the pendulum now, and what it is, it's a counterbalance which we use that clips onto the line when we're using a sand spike. It can be used on a tripod, but I prefer use on the sand spike system. Now what we can do is we can actually clip this using a little bit of wire made out of a paper clip, and that'll clip onto your line. Alternatively, if you want something to break away quite easily, there is a clip inside there which will hold onto the line, so if you want to snatch it away quite quickly you can utilise it that way. It's made out of the same enclosure as the Firefly, but what we do inside is we actually have the counterbalance weights which are made out of magnets. So basically if you want a lower weight to counterbalance, just take your fuel away, screw the cap back on, and you're back fishing again. Now the firefly enclosure is a waterproof enclosure, so don't get worried about it being dropped in the water and your magnets getting rusty or anything like that. At the same time, it weighs in at 1.6 ounces, so if you're looking at fishing a 4 ounce, 5 ounce lead, then the full magnets were probably the best thing to use. If you're using a lighter lead, then you can obviously take some of the magnets off. But that's the pendulum.